Anthropic recently released their best model so far, Claude Opus 4.8. And in this video, I want to discuss with you everything you need to know about this model. So how this model works, is it really the best model for, let's say, Claude Code, or if you use Claude on web, like just Claude Chat or Cowork. And they also released workflows. It's a new feature in Claude Code that allows you to build a very complex thing. And I will be trying this feature for the first time in this video. So let's start. Usually when companies like Anthropic and OpenAI release their model, they always say that their model is best on some benchmarks. You can see some news, it is 10% better than GPT, and then GPT comes out and says this model is 10% better than previous Claude and 20% better than previous GPT or something like that. I want to explain you how this works and how they measure it, and for you to understand that it's not really fair to rely on benchmarks only that they use. So how most of the benchmarks for coding agents work? They take some GitHub repositories, public GitHub repositories, and in these GitHub repositories, there are some issues. Those issues, they need to be fixed, and depending on the fix of the issue, there will be improvement in percentage of tests in this repository. And so basically the goal is to take the code snapshot before the bug happened, before the issue, and see what percentage of tests were failed because of this bug, and then fix the bug automatically using agent and see whether they fixed 100% cases or less. So this is how people usually test models, especially for AI coding. So why this is not always similar to real life? Well, first, in real life, you do many iterations with the agent. Second, in real life, you have other different problems rather than just bug fixing. And even in bug fixing, you might have different things you want to take into account, right? So you don't need to just your test to be green. You also want to preserve some architecture in your code base. You want your app's UI to look good. And again, this is another set of benchmarks that needs to be created for just UI alone. And moreover, these benchmarks, they are focused on one-time thing. So there is an error, it is fixed. How many tests are passing after the fix? That's it. So what happens with the repository if you do this multiple times? There are some benchmarks that show that if you apply models, even if you apply best models like Opus, there are some regression. So when you ask model to fix tests continuously, fix this, fix this, fix this, then it starts breaking previous tests. And so it starts to add in some regression in your code base. And the whole speech about benchmark was that, yes, they use benchmarks. It's the best what we have, but benchmarks alone are not the sign of the model being the best for you. And I know many people who, for example, use Codex and say that Codex is just the best model. And I know a lot of different people, including myself, who understands that in many cases, Codex is worse than even Claude Sonnet. So it really depends on your task. Feel free to test all the models. It's always good to have access to multiple models, including Codex and Claude and a cursor model like Composer 2.5, and select the model which is best for your specific task. Now, Anthropic, with the release of Opus 4.8, also introduced new workflows feature in Claude Code that allows you to, as they promise, to create long-running process of agents automatically, and it should spin up some agents and decide on how to work. So it should handle complicated work. And I want to test it. Let's see how it works. I'm testing it for the first time, so I don't know the output. So I have this website, which is designed for tracking appearance of the website in Google and also tracking AI visibility, like how your website is recommended in ChatGPT, in Claude, in Perplexity, in Gemini. And on the landing page, I have this demo. Demo is interactive, so you can do something about it. But the problem is that the demo is kind of fit here, and I want to be able to open this demo in full page view and just to play with it. So let's start a workflow in Claude Code and see how it works. So I'm in Claude Code. I'm making sure that Opus 4.8 is my active model. And now in order to start a workflow, I just need to mention workflow word. You see that how it is highlighted. So my prompt is create a workflow to make the demo on the landing page to be full screen. So by default, it should stay as is, but we need to add a button so I can open it full screen and play with it. Let's see what's going to happen. So first we see that it started this explore subagent. This is a normal process for Claude Code. It usually starts explore subagent even without workflows. For now, it is the same as the previous version of Claude Code. Now you see that exploration is done, and you can see since you asked for a workflow, I'll orchestrate it. Implement, review, design, correctness in parallel, apply fixes, then I'll verify the result myself. So it is asking me, this dynamic workflow will spin up multiple subagents across the following phases. Implement, review, fix. Dynamic workflows can use a lot of tokens quickly. That's fair enough. Stop running workflow at any time with workflows, or disable dynamic workflows in config. Yes, run it. So now I can press the button to go down, and I see that this is like a workflow, or I guess an agent. And we can see what's going on here. So it's implement, I go right, implement, and I can see all the activity of, I guess, this subagent that was created for this workflow. You can see that implementation is done, and we can see the outcome. We can go back, we can go to review, and there are two review subagents, correctness and design, and there's some fix. And again, we can open this fix and see what happened inside this fix. Let's now go back. Cool, we can see that workflow is finished. So now we can test it. I can see this new button here. If I open it, I see it kind of full screen and I can play with it. This is exactly what we asked for. So I guess that's it. So I have a feeling that the feature I asked it to implement is too easy for workflow, but still I liked that in the workflow it automatically created this review thing, and because review is a separate subagent, it can act kind of independent on the subagent that did the implementation. And this is what I usually did when using subagents myself. So in the prompt I wrote something like, hey, use a general purpose subagent to implement, then use another general purpose subagent to review the code and fix the issues. And now it's easily integrated in the workflows, so it's quite good. In terms of usage, I'm on $100 subscription, and I can see that in 5-hour limit, I have 91% left. And I think I started with 97. For this small feature, the usage was not that high. I hope this was useful. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.